Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Balaji Amines Limited Q1 FY22 earnings conference call hosted by Emkay Global Financial Services Limited. This conference call may contain forward-looking statements about the company which are based on the beliefs, opinions and expectations of the company as on date of this call. These statements are not the guarantees of future performance and involve risks and uncertainties that are difficult to predict. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Rohit Nagraj from Emkay Global Financial Services Limited. Thank you and over to you, sir.
Thanks, Malika. On behalf of Emkay Global Financial Services, I welcome you all to the Q1 FY22 conference call of Balaji Amines Limited. We have with us today Mr. Ram Reddy, promoter and MD of Balaji Amines Limited. We request the management for their opening remarks, post which we'll open the floor for Q&A. Over to you, Ram, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Nagraj. My name is Ram Reddy, Managing Director, Balaji Amines Limited. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you and welcome to the conference call to discuss the financial performance of the Q1 FY22 performance of our company, Balaji Amines Limited. I hope you have got a chance to go through the press release and financial statements submitted to the stock exchanges and uploaded on our website. First, kindly let me take you through the standalone financial and operational performance. We have recorded 85% growth in total revenue, which stood at 394 crore in Q1 FY22 as against rupees 213 crore in the corresponding quarter of previous year. The growth in revenue was on account of additional stream of income from new ethyl amine plant along with overall increase in capacity utilization due to higher end industry user demand. Our operations were not hampered much during the second wave of COVID-19 in India, as our products fall under essential category, with many of them also required as intermediates in medications. EBITDA was up by 119%, which came in at rupees 117 crore in Q1 FY22 as compared to rupees 54 crore in the same period last year, with EBITDA margin at 29.7% in Q1 FY22 as compared to 25.1% in the same period last year. The improvement in operating margins was primarily on account of better capacity utilization and continuing healthier price realization across most of our products. Profit after tax recorded an increase of 136% at rupees 82 crore in the current quarter ending review as against rupees 35 crore in Q1 FY21. PAT margin stood at 20.8% in Q1 FY22 as against to 16.3% in Q1 FY21. Diluted EPS for Q1 FY22 stood at rupees 25.25 per equity share as compared to rupees 10.70 per equity share in Q1 FY21. Total volume stood at 21,997 MT for Q1 FY22, up by 20% as against 18,306 MT in Q1 FY21. For Q1 FY22, amines volume stood at 5,394 metric tons. Amines derivatives volume stood at 9,587 metric tons. Specialty chemical volume stood at 7,016 metric tons. Now, coming to your consolidated performance for Q1 FY22. Revenue from operations for Q1 FY22 stood at rupees 452 crore, up by 102% as compared to rupees 224 crore in Q1 FY21. EBITDA for Q1 FY22 recorded a jump of 165% from rupees 55 crore in Q1 FY21 to rupees 144 crore in Q1 FY22. EBITDA margin for Q1 FY22 was at 31.9% as against 24.3% in Q1 FY21. PAT for Q1 FY22 was up by 208% from rupees 32 crore in Q1 FY21 to rupees 97 crore in Q1 FY22. Diluted EPS for Q1 FY22 stood at rupees 27.90 as against rupees 10.17 per equity share in Q1 FY21. Our subsidiary company Balaji Specialty Chemicals Private Limited continued to witness substantial increase in capacity utilization, with the company recording sales volume of 3,624 metric ton in Q1 FY22 as against 1,710 metric tons in same quarter last year. We have recorded 42% capacity utilization in Q1 FY22, which was anticipated to further ramp it up to 50 to 60% in subsequent quarters. Non-agrochemical clients constituted about 40% of total sales of ethylene diamine in Q1 FY22, from about 10% in earlier quarters. Our endeavor is to increase the share of exports from our subsidiary plant to about 25 to 30% going forward from about 13% in Q1 FY22. With commencement of operations of our state-of-art new plant of ethylamines, which is part of the phase 1 of our 90-acre greenfield project, Unit 4 at Sholapur, the company has the largest installed capacity of ethylamines in India at 22,500 metric tons per annum. Our new plant has already achieved capacity utilization of over 90% in Q1 FY22. The new plant of ethylamines at Unit 4 will lead to lower cost of production due to new technology. With the commencement of this plant, Balaji Amines is the largest manufacturer of methylamines, ethylamines and other chemicals in India. The construction of new plant for dimethyl carbonate in phase 1 of Greenfield project Unit 4 is undergoing as envisaged, and we hope to commence production of DMC by the end of FY22. Till 30th June 2021, we have undertaken a total capex of rupees 172 crore in phase 1 of our Greenfield project, and a further rupees 53 crore would be invested. We also plan to set up an additional plant of acetonitrile having capacity of 50 TPD with projected capex of about rupees 70 to 80 crore at our 90-acre Greenfield project Unit 4. This plant is expected to commence operations in financial year 2023. Methylamines is a key raw material and the base product for value-added derivative required by pharmaceutical and agrochemical companies. We are currently the market leader in methylamines production in India, and 80% of our methylamines production is captively used for manufacturing value-added products. Pharmaceutical application segment and agrochemicals are expected to drive significant demand for methylamines in India as well as global markets. As announced earlier, to meet our increasing captive requirements, we plan to set up a separate plant for methylamines with capacity of 40,000 to 50,000 tons per annum under phase 2 expansion of Greenfield Unit 4, for which the company has already received environmental clearance. We anticipate the commissioning of this plant by end of 2023. That's all from our side. We now leave the floor open for question and answers.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Amandeep Singh from Ambit Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity. Firstly, regarding the standalone volume growth of 20% YOY during the quarter, so can you help us understand the key products contributing to higher volumes and blended utilizations for the quarter? And also, despite the ethylamine plant coming up and reaching more than 90% utilization, there was volume decline of 12% on sequential basis. So can you help us understand if this was due to impact on operations due to COVID second wave or any disruption in demand? Any clarity on this?
No, actually the volume growth which you can on consolidated basis, if you see that specialty, Balaji specialty, that subsidiaries contribution is there more than 3,000 tons in that. And as regards you are declining in the current quarter, the ethylamine it is given only for the part of May and June. Hardly it has worked I think 40 days. So that is the main reason, and there are many other reasons because after first wave COVID, there are many products like Remdesivir and Fabiflu and many other drugs has come to slower, and that capacity is declining.
Sure, sir. And any number on blended utilizations?
Number, it is very difficult. You can send a mail. We will give you the.
No worries, sir. And sir, secondly on gross margins. So when we see your standalone gross margins, that is excluding your Balaji Specialty subsidiary. So on standalone basis, the gross margin came in at 49.5% versus 53.1% in previous quarter. So we believe this has been largely driven by sharp prices. So can you help us understand the quantum of increase in raw material prices, reason for the same, and how this can be and if this can be actually passed on to the customers?
You are right. The raw material prices were so slowly increasing, and exactly by the end of the quarter, the prices have gone to peak. Even now also prices are going up. As I said earlier, it will take at least 2 to 3 weeks time to passing on to the customers by convincing and by understanding them what is going on actually in the market. So which is current situation actually in this quarter, in the last month, that is July, still the prices like methanol, earlier we used to talk about 28-29 rupees. Today I am talking about as on today the prices have gone up to on landing basis more than 34-35 rupees. And same with ammonia, which was 42 rupees on the landing basis. Today it has become more than 50-52 rupees. There is a huge increase, and we are already started passing on to the explaining to the customers and passing on to the customers, which may take some time, but it will be passed on.
Reason? I mean, it would be due to supply chain issues globally or the specific reason? I mean,
there are many reasons.
But would request you to rejoin the queue, sir, for follow-up questions.
This was actually in continuation, but yeah, we'll join in the queue.
Yeah, dear, that is main reason. You have rightly said that logistics all over world disturbed. And second thing, there are some plants in the worldwide are not working. They have taken on the shutdown. Some plants are affected because of the logistics, and some plants are affected. Some accidents in some of the countries. So all these reasons together it has impacted. We don't know how long it will take, but there is a increase in the main raw materials.
Sure, sir. Thank you. That's helpful. I'll rejoin the queue. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kunal from Valum India Discovery Fund. Please go ahead.
So thank you very much for the opportunity. Sir, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kunal.
Yeah. So thank you very much. And sir, I wanted to understand firstly, for the last few quarters, we have been seeing specialty products volume for Balaji Amines standalone to be around 10,000 tons plus volumes we have been seeing in the last 4 quarters. So this quarter this quarter it was 7,000 tons roughly. So what was the reason for the decline in specialty products volume this quarter?
See, that is mainly because of the raw material cost, like acetic acid has gone up very abnormally. The acetic acid used to be around 30, 40 rupees, which has went more than 100 rupees in the last quarter. And even now also it is somewhere 85 to 90 rupees. There are 2 to 3 main products which are used by this acetic acid, mainly acetonitrile. We for some period we have stopped the plant because of the high prices of the acetic acid. We have taken the break and we have started working on that revamping work we have taken during this period. And even for the dimethyl acetamide also is affected because of this acetic acid. Because of those reasons, this impact has taken. And to some extent, one product, that is DMF also, because of the shortage of the oxygen, to some period it did not work in the last quarter.
Correct, sir. So in the coming quarters, we will again stick to the same level of 7,000, 8,000 tons, or we can still rebound back to the 10,000 plus level, provided we are able to pass on.
We just started working. That acetic acid has come down to 65, 66. Again, it has gone up, and we started the plant of the acetonitrile. It is working, and DMAC also it is working. We should improve from the 7,000, right?
Correct, sir. And so just last one question. First, I want to understand what was the utilization of DMF plant in this quarter? I mean, I wanted to understand for the month of June specifically, what is the running rate which we are having? Because I believe that in the month of April, the shortage of oxygen would have caused problems in production. But in the June, by the end of June, what did we close at in terms of utilization of DMF? And regarding Balaji specialty, where 40% of the product is going for non-agro use. So, sir, can you highlight in what areas it is going and into which set of customers? I mean, no, I don't want the names, but just the application.
See, lot of pesticide industries are there, like UPL, Coromandel. All these companies are using the PA industries. Many. You name any pesticide industries, they are using our chemicals from Balaji Amines. And for the specialty, these are the main three companies like UPL, Coromandel, Endofil, and all there. And DMF, I think it ran because April totally we could not run because of the oxygen. I think June we have done some 12 to 1300 tons, and I think current July maybe more than 1500 tons. From here it should ramp up because the oxygen we are already started getting from outside, and we are also making alternate arrangement. Internally we are building a plant for the oxygen. If something goes wrong like earlier, we are preparing for any adverse impact on the oxygen in coming period.
Correct, sir. Correct. Thank you very much. All the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Puneet Mittal from Global Core Capital. Please go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Reddy. Thanks for the opportunity. I have just one question. Whether it's in Balaji Specialty or the standalone plants, are our plants fungible in the sense can we interchangeably use for other products?
No. As of now, see, Balaji Amines, we have some opportunity. Like earlier we said that acetonitrile and PHF interchangeable. But specialty we have not tried. Balaji Specialty, we are exclusive plant and exclusive products. We have not tried anything to change any other product.
Okay, understood. And the second question is, you were highlighting that the raw material prices are still up. So do you see continuous pressure, little bit pressure on the gross margins in this quarter and the next quarters as well?
See, there will be pressure not only on Balaji, all chemical industries passing through this pressure because of this logistic hit very badly on all the chemical and specialty chemical industries. But for Balaji, we have some new capacities added which are compensating. If you see this quarter, in spite of all these things, because these greenfield project is commissioned, that has helped us to maintain our value of the revenues and even the improvement in the bottom line.
Right. That's all from me. Thank you so much and all the best. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Swarnabh Mukherjee from Edelweiss. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ram sir. 2-3 questions from my side. First one is related to acetonitrile. You just mentioned that you had stopped the acetonitrile and now after the revamping you have started the plant. So now going forward, are we expecting 18 to 20 tons per day volume in this facility?
See, revamping is not completed fully. The moment the acetic acid prices have come down, we just immediately packed up and we started the work. There is another 8-10 days work still pending for the debottlenecking, which we will be doing in the maybe coming weeks. Next 2-3 weeks we will take up that.
Okay, so I mean by end of August or early September, then we will be running at 18 to 20 tons per day. That be a fair assumption.
Yes, we will be running at the new capacity after debottlenecking. Whatever capacity comes, like 15 to 18 tons, whatever comes per day, we will be running.
Okay, and sir, can you give me acetonitrile and DMF prices, what you are seeing right now? And
see, acetonitrile prices are somewhere 270 to 280 rupees is current ruling price. And this is actually very lower price when you compare to the increase in the acetic acid prices. There's a reason these acetic acid prices increase and lower capacity has given us a lesson to learn to go for the create a new capacities, a sizable capacity, which we announced in yesterday's board meeting. That is, we are coming up with a new plant of 50 metric tons acetonitrile, which should be operative in the next financial year, and that will be the new technology, which will be lower cost of price.
okay, sir. And in terms of DMF, where do we see the capacity now? I mean, at the exit rate, sir, because I think for the quarter, if we look at it, then few days, as you mentioned, must have been lost because of oxygen shortage.
We should be doing 15 to 1800 tons this quarter also. If this goes continuously, demand, whatever we are seeing, there is a good demand. I think there is a short supply in the world market for this product. Unlike earlier, we used to face the pressure on the pricing from the imports. This time we are not facing that much. The current rule price is around 150 to 160 rupees.
Okay. And sir, the new acetonitrile capex that you announced, will it have the fungibility with EHS?
Can you repeat?
Sir, the new acetonitrile, the capex that you have announced yesterday, will it also have the facility to manufacture EHS in case if you see a oversupply or anything like that?
That is very difficult to say right now because that's totally new technology, totally new plant, and totally new route. So it's very difficult to say today until otherwise we operate once.
Okay, okay, sir. And last 1-2 questions, sir. Ethylamines we expect to run at 90% now going forward?
Yes, presently we are running 90% capacity.
Okay, and the per ton, I mean the per ton profitability of both your base business and subsidiary has gone up. What are your thoughts, sir? How it is going to pan out, particularly in subsidiary, because I think it is a a critical import substitute product. So will it be running at EBIT per ton at a similar level, or should we see normalization going forward?
Actually, it is doing very well. Balaji Specialty Chemicals, those products, all the products like EDA, Piperazine, Data, all the three products short supply in domestic as well as international market. So that is giving us some leverage in improving the prices and margins. Only thing is there was some short supply of the raw material. We are still facing that short supply. Otherwise, today the capacity would have gone to more than 60-70% now itself. So we are expecting for the coming months, that is maybe August and September onwards, improvement in the availability of the raw material, that is monoethanolamine. That will definitely give leverage to improve this utilization of the capacity.
Okay, sir. All right. And any guidance on the revenue front around base and base business and the subsidiary for this year and next year?
I am expecting, we have done 75 crores for this quarter, and we expect minimum 300 to 350 crores minimum on conservative basis. I am telling in current financial year it should touch 350 crores.
Okay. And in the base business?
Base business, I think we should touch 1400 plus. It should touch 14 to 1450.
Okay, sir. That's great to hear, sir. So that's all from my side. I will come back in the queue. All the best, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Swarnab.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhruv from HDFC Asset Management Company. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Sir, a bit related to the earlier one. The acetonitrile, sir, our existing capacity, I believe, is still to be fully ramped up. I thought it was facing some issues. So, and we have announced this capex. So, what is the confidence that this will be at the full run rate once it is commissioned?
Yes, there is an international demand and even domestical also. Still, there's a lot of imports are coming, and there are few customers where we have seen that lot of increased capacity are coming up. Even in the country also, under Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are seeing a lot of capacities have been planned up, where we expect the acetonitrile will go huge quantities. That is the reason we have just planned up to cope up all these capacity demands.
Yes, sir. So actually I was trying to understand from the production side, the existing capacity is also, I believe, taking some time to ramp up. So you believe the other route is more viable and it can ramp up fast?
Yes.
Okay.
Existing capacity, there were two reasons. One reason, when there was a price were very good, we were unable to take the shutdown for doing this debottlenecking activities. So now probably the next coming 2-3 weeks we will complete this debottlenecking, and then we will be running this capacity full, that is between 15 to 18 tons per day. Then next year we are talking about this new capacity of 50 tons per day. So the next year will be, even though at a higher price of the acetic acid, it should be viable. That's the reason we have chosen this new technology and a new plant.
Okay, got it. And so the second question was, now if I look at the overall demand supply situation, you plus your competitor, the other competitor, both have announced significant capacities. You have also announced the methyl expansion. So once again, just to confirm, this 2023 you mentioned is CY23, end of CY23 or FY23? Methyl expansion, methylamines expansion?
Yeah, next 2020. You see, because this has taken
December 23.
Front line. ACN has taken the first place because of the certain dynamic market changes and dynamic reasons. Acetonitrile will be coming first. After DMC, dimethyl carbonate, then acetonitrile, then methylamines.
Methylamine, and methylamine is by December 23.
Yeah, 23.
End of 23. Got it. And so if I look at all the expansions, it seems all the capacity additions will exceed the the current import volumes. Basically, India will, it seems, become largely, domestic dependent then. So in any sense, if, for example, the demand were to be relatively slow for whatever reason, is it possible to start targeting exports if such a situation arises for the...
We're already doing that. Dhruv, you've seen our reports. We're already doing 20-30% exports.
Last basic products.
Specifically, basic products also. We are doing DMA also, we are exporting. Because of the domestic demand, we are restricted to the exports. And ethyl amines also we started exporting. NMP is already doing. Morpholin we were not doing, that also we have, Morpholin we are exporting. And even DMF also we just started penetrating outside market.
Got it. Sure, sir. That's helpful. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. We would like to remind participants that you may press star 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Amar Maurya from Alpha Accurate Advisors. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Yeah, Amar, go ahead.
Yeah. So my question was more on the other expenditure and the employee cost, which has come down. So how we should take the run rate going forward? If you can comment on this.
Like other expenses. See, other expenses, sometimes what happens, like insurance premiums, and we are coming up with a power plant. Sometimes we are running one plant on the power plant of our own power plant, and sometimes we are on the MACD.
Okay.
This makes difference. I think this quarter there is a change in that. So the reason you have seen the difference. Going forward, we are coming up with a power plant also. I think we have not mentioned, I missed it. Maybe next 3-4 months, there will be a power plant, cogeneration plant in the Unit 3 with 4.9 megawatts capacity, which will take care of entire Unit 3 and Unit 4 power requirement. So that time you will see substantial saving and consistency in the supply also.
Oh. Okay. And sir, employee cost is also slightly down. So any specific reason?
Down in the means the units increased in the same location. That's the reason you will see the revenue increased on with the same staff and same thing. That must be the reason. And that will be increased probably in the coming years. There will be increments, dues will come. That time you will see it will be come to the same level.
Okay, because Q4 the employee cost was around 210 and this quarter it is 180. Even though third quarter is at 180, so you are saying it is at the same level. That is how I should understand, right?
It may go to this old levels because there are the increments due for this month, July, August. Some of the increments are due for the employees.
Okay, fair enough, sir. That's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Kishan Gupta from CD Equisearch. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening.
I want to understand what sort of pricing power do you currently have in your DMF and ethylamines business?
What sort of? Can you repeat, please?
The pricing power in the DMF and ethylamines.
DMF, I just told, it is 150 to 160 rupees is going on current price, and ethylamines also somewhere 190 to 200 rupees is going on presently.
So what sort of pricing power? I mean, because the raw material prices are on the up move, so how much is it possible for you at this stage to pass on?
We will
specifically these two products.
First 1 or 2 quarters, 1 or 2 weeks it will take some time to explain and improving. 1 or 2 weeks it will be difficult on the same price. And after 2 weeks you will see the passing on the entire increase of the both your ammonia and methanol, whatever is there. It is only matter of weeks. It is only matter of weeks in the passing on transition period.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you talked about this new ethylamines, new technology in the last con call. You said what sort of cost advantage we'll get, we'll be able to tell you after some time. So what
You will see. What do you want me to explain? It is low cost.
In terms of compared to what margins you were getting earlier.
We are getting much low cost, and I cannot explain in detail because of the secrecy of the trade, but we have the advantage over a earlier technology and current technology.
And it's a substantial advantage, you mean to say?
Yes.
Okay. And
you
what is the one?
Coming this quarter you have seen, and you will also see in the coming quarters, right?
Okay. And what is the one thing the management is most focused on currently?
Expansions. You have seen when the plant will be, in spite of this pandemic situation, we have successfully commissioned this 50 TPD plant, and second plant of DMC is in track, which will be commenced by end of the current financial year. So our focus is to run the existing plants efficiently and complete the planned expansions as per the schedules.
And for DMF, can you also procure methylamines from outside? Because if there is a delay in methylamine capacity, what would be the effect?
Yes. If the situation demands, yes.
Okay.
With a viable pricing.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ravi Naredi from Naredi Investments. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much to give me opportunity. Sir, we learned from your last con call and yesterday announcement on CapEx. We hope 240 crore CapEx will be done in current year. Is it correct? And please give CapEx plan for financial year 23 and what will be revenue rises from this CapEx, sir?
See, current year CapEx, I think we have already done part of that ethylamine plant, whatever leftover we have done. And the balance CapEx meant for DMC plant, dimethyl carbonate, which is coming up in the end of the financial year. And the revenue, like that ethylamines, if it operates full year, it should generate about 200 to 300 crores of total 100% capacity utilization. And even DMC also, once it starts, it should give about 150 crores of the revenue.
Okay. So this year, financial year 22, how much CapEx will be done?
I think another 50-60 crores is left.
50 to 60 crores.
For this, see, it is, Mr. Ravi, it is very difficult to say particular plant because lot of activities are going on.
Right.
There is end expenses for the existing plant. There is one plant which is at finishing level. We are talking about new plants which are at foundation levels. So a lot of activities are going on.
Right. And what about financial year 23?
23
plan?
Yeah. We already announced one plant that is acetonitrile, about 70 to 80 crores. Acetonitrile plant total cost will be spending in the 23, and part of methylamines may be spending in that particular year.
Okay. Approximately how much cost?
Maybe part. See, this visibility we will get only after another quarter. You will see the clear visibility.
Okay. And sir, what is the scene of raw material prices and any backward integration are we planning?
Not yet really, but current only that one oxygen plant which was not working earlier, we are bringing in the stream. Maybe in next 1 or 2 months, it will come into the stream. If you talk about the backward integration, one is oxygen plant and second is this power plant. I was not mentioning, but now I'm mentioning this power plant. New power plant is coming up in Unit 3, which will be operative in the current financial year only. Before the end of the financial year, it will operative. So this will give an advantage in the costing. And all other products like methanol, ammonia, it is very difficult to think of. At least they're all big plants and they're all petrochemical complexes.
Okay. Thank you very much to give me opportunity, sir.
You are welcome, Mr. Ravi.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rajiv Rupani, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Yeah, congratulations, Ram Reddy, sir, on a good set of numbers. I have a small question of DMA HCL. Sir, we have some 24,000 tons existing capacity and environmental clearance was there for 7,500 tons. So any update on that?
Yeah, you are right. Your memory is very good. See, both are still there. What has happened, Mr. Rajiv, for main consumption for this DMHCl is for the metformin and ranitidine and tramadol. These are the three products actually use this product. Currently, metformin is not in increasing mode. So the moment it demands, we have all the infrastructure ready, just adding some equipment and going forward. What happened entire the year, we have the capacity of 24,000 tons. Throughout the year, we are doing at 23,000 tons per year. We have not completed total 24,000 tons and it never demanded to start immediately at this 7,500 tons capacity. If it demands, yes, we will go ahead by doing that. Second thing, the raw material required for this is DMA. We will have to look at DMA. As on today, DMA we are utilizing on the need demand basis. Like if DMF is giving good pricing, we are using more of the DMA for the DMF. If the DMAC is using asking for the good price, it is going for DMF. Like that, we are just doing. The moment all the products goes in full swing and at good price, definitely we will go for that additional capacities, and this 7,500 tons will be brought into the stream.
Okay, thank you. And sir, now the expansions which we are doing for ACN, DMC, methylamines and DMF in the future. So in 2-3 years, after all this is complete, what do you think will be the top line of the company? Approximately.
See, if everything goes well, तो 2000 के ऊपर तो दिखता ही है अभी, because DMF तो इतना जल्दी होने वाला नहीं है. If that comes, so definitely more than 2,000-2,500 के आसपास तो टच करने वाला है. But coming 2 years, the visibility up to 1,800 to 2,000 crores तो clear दिखता है.
Okay. Okay, and last question on Morpholin. Any update? What are the current prices, and are we looking to increase this? And you are exporting to China also. Any update?
Yes. India and other European countries demand is more. That's the reason we reduced exports to the China, because China is a little opportunist type. That's the reason we always keep the low key profile for the exports to China. Even if you see the Balaji Specialties products also, we have done in 1 month 1,000 tons, and next month immediately we reduced to 300-400 tons because of the domestic demand and other countries' demand. So plant is doing well, and the domestic prices are good. 180 to 200 tons, 200 rupees is current price for the Morpholin.
Okay, and sir, on follow-up question on ACN. See, our existing capacity is 9,000, but I believe we had environment clearance for 18,000 tons much earlier, since 2-3 years.
Yes.
So what happens to the 9,000 tons where we have the environment clearance, but we are not doing it?
See, as I said earlier, there was mismatch in while building the plant. That's the reason we stuck at 9 tons per day, and which we will be doing, making it to 15 tons by adding this debottlenecking, which may happen in 1 or 2 months. And the new license capacity, yes, you are right, 18,000. In fact, we are adding more for that, because once we go for this 50 tons, that will be 16,500 tons, that capacity. And this will become 6,000. The total will become 22,000-23,000 tons. Probably we may ask for the additional clearances, which we are working on it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We would like to remind participants that you may press star 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Jaimin Shekhawat from Ambit Capital. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question. Mr. Reddy, my first question is relating to the key raw material prices. Now you said that we have been experiencing a lot of increases. can you help me update the situation on Iranian imports for methanol? What's the situation there?
No, nothing is there. We are not getting anything from the Iran directly. If somebody brings via, we don't know, but Iran direct trade not yet started. If that starts, that will be great for the Indian chemical industry, but not yet started.
And do we really expect anything to improve at least say over the next year?
We are expecting, actually after new administration in the US government, we are expecting that Iran should open at least for the essential commodities. Then that will be helpful for the entire country, entire specialty chemical industry.
Right. Mr. Reddy, please help me understand. So your close competitor is also commissioning a new acetonitrile plant in a couple of quarters, and you've already added capacity over there. So help me understand how will that impact your realization going forward once the capacities are on stream?
See, I don't know, because we are not currently, acetonitrile is not main product for us. As of now, we have only small capacity. But when we are talking about the new technology, we are not adapting the existing technology or old technology. Our technology will be totally different for the that new 50 tons. If that gives proper this thing, probably we may scrap this existing capacity of 9 to 15 tons, 9 to 10, 15 tons per day, whatever we are doing it. It may be used for some other purposes, and the new plant, which will be more advantageous, will be used once it starts operating.
Understood. And sir, can you mention the clientele that you've mentioned in the presentation? Are you the exclusive supplier for them?
No, nobody is exclusive to anybody in current situation in the world market, my dear.
Okay, thanks for clarification. And finally, on your R&D efforts, now, given that we aim to cater to a wider and growing client base, we only see about 25 products as present versus, say, our competitor with over 100. Any specific reasons why we haven't been able to ramp up our product range?
I do not know. It's only paper we have seen, but I have not seen in the market 100 products which you are talking. Anyway, that is not our business. We have our R&D on place, and our R&D team presently working on existing plants, improvement of the efficiencies, and new products. We have almost half a dozen products. We have all majority of the products with big value products. Like any product we talk, not less than 15-20,000 tons capacity per annum, and that too import substitute we are working.
So how much of new products are we looking to add, say, going forward in the coming years?
We have many products in the pipeline, my dear, but only thing is we cannot take everything to on one time on one table, which will mess up. That's the reason we are taking up one by one, and that too basing on the demand and the market dynamics. We are just changing from first front bench to last bench to front bench, like that we are changing. Like earlier we said, methylamine will come first. Now the acetonitrile has taken the front bench, and methylamine has taken the second, and DMF has taken third, like that.
Fair enough. Thanks a lot, Mr. Reddy.
You are welcome, Mr. Kawat.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pritesh Chheda from Lucky Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. So on Balaji Specialty, where you mentioned that the output and the revenue is at 40% utilization. So if you do the math, it works out to some 700 crore of revenue. And the margin is also really a big number. So when we had implemented this asset, this was, I think, about 160-170 crore of capex that we had done. And the asset turn expected at that time was 400 crores odd revenue number. So just wanted to understand what has changed for Balaji Specialty in terms of a higher revenue and a much higher margin. Is there any product where the price realization has shot up, or do you think it's structural, or what change is it that would explain it?
So you are right, Pritesh. If you go with the current pricing, it should go to more than 600 crores annual turnover. But when we estimated originally, that time the sale price was somewhere 160-170 rupees There's a reason we estimated 400 to 500 crores those days. And today the prices have gone up, both raw material and as well as finished product prices also. Because it has become short supply, we are checking. It looks like last 4 or 5 months, it is continuously short supply, means there is some demand has been created worldwide. That could be the one reason. And there must be 1 or 2 plants might have shut for some reasons. It has become the limelight, and demand has been created. Even in domestic also the prices have been improved. If this goes like this, the margin levels will be maintained. Otherwise, I was talking earlier also, the EBITDA presently maybe 28, 29, 30, sometimes it is showing. But to my knowledge and my expectation, the sustainable should be somewhere 20 to 23% of the EBITDA should be sustainable on long run basis, and more than 400 to 500 crores should be the unsustainable. If you see the past data, for the past year's data, for the years the price was maintained around 170, 180 rupees only.
So at the time of 400 crore revenue assumption, it was 170, 180 price of the product, or it is now 170, 180?
No. Earlier when we estimated total annual turnover should be 400 crores, and that time the sale price average were 165 to 170 rupees.
Okay.
Today it is more than 200 rupees.
Okay. And accordingly, the profitability is also higher because the price is higher.
Yes.
Because of short supply.
That is also the product utilization also. It is in the way it increases. Suppose earlier it was 20%, 30%. Now 40% the profitability increases. If tomorrow it goes 60, 70, then again there will be some improvement in the profitability.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my second question is, keeping the methylamine greenfield capacity aside, based on whatever capacity that we've added, which is basically acetonitrile, earlier there was a debottlenecking and now there is a greenfield. The dimethyl carbonate where we are adding about 10,000 tons, and ethylamine where we added about 16,500 tons, right? And we have some spare capacity in DMF. So, sum total of these 4-5 areas, what is the total volume that you would do combined for these? And I have specifically kept the methylamine 50,000 ton greenfield capacity aside. So what kind of volume should you do when it hits the full utilization?
Just give me a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Mr. Reddy?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is Pritesh. You heard the question?
Yeah. I got partly. I understood. You are talking about the volumes, total volumes. Once you finish all the expansions, where we stand, right?
Yeah. So let's say you were doing about 25,000 ton until last quarter, which if I multiply by 4,
we expect, dear Pritesh, once we finish these expansions, we should not less than 120,000 tons per annum by finishing all these expansions.
Sir, if you were doing about 25,000 ton until last quarter, or let's say even if you take 22,000 ton, what you did this quarter, to which means annually about 90,000 ton or 100,000 ton. To which
the new additions will be one is acetonitrile, second is DMC.
Yeah, so DMC is 10,000.
Third is the new ethyl element plant. Yeah.
Sorry?
Third is the new ethyl element plant.
Ton of dimethyl carbonate, 16,500 ton of ethylamine.
Yes.
20,000 ton extra of.
Sir, I would request you to rejoin the queue, sir.
Madam, I am taking the answer.
Go ahead. Hello? Hello? Yeah, Pritesh.
Yeah, 20,000 tons of acetonite, right?
Yes.
That itself takes you to about 140,000 tons, sir.
See, you cannot take immediately 100% capacity, my dear. Some plant will run 70, some 60. So all these put together, conservatively I am talking 120 to 130. 120 to 130,000 tons I am telling you. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
You are welcome. You are welcome.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Rohit Nagraj from Emkay Global. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. So first question is in terms of our inventory management. So given that there is a lot of volatility, generally what are the risk measures or inventory management that we, in terms of reducing the volatility, and the same on our contracts with customers. So will there be any clause that if there is a substantial increase in input cost, it can be passed on? Thank you.
The first question is very tough. Volatility and inventory. Everybody passing through this in the country today. So sometimes the price is going very high and we buy and the prices will comes down. This is happening. But since we have many products and many raw materials, this is covering up one or the other raw material. One is giving plus, one is giving minus. Like that, it is getting pacified. Right. Second thing, we don't have any contracts, long-term contracts, even though they demand and they ask. We are always talking about 2 to 3 months. 2 to 3 months risk we are always taking, and we will be covering raw materials. And other side, we are committing the customers for that extent only to avoid any hits on account of the price increase.
All right, that's helpful. So, and second question is in terms we look at as a role model in terms of global company by aspiring, in terms of capacity expansions, operations, in terms of the policies, etc. So, do we have any role model who we, probably would like to replicate over a period of time? Thank you.
Role model वैसा कुछ नहीं है Mr. Nagraj. एक ही है. We see, if you see our past record and the future plans also, you just look at import substitute. What is the major product coming into the country for the years together, which is commanding in the country? Those products we are identifying, and we are trying to build the technology and plant for that particular product, and we are trying to improve the efficiencies in that particular product to compete with the global markets. That is only our model or funda, whatever you call it.
Got it, sir. Thanks for the answers and best of luck.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for closing comments.
Thank you. Thank you very much to all the investors. See, the growth in end user industries such as pharmaceutical, agrochemicals, paint and coatings, personal care and home care, all these are continued to drive the demand for the amines. And this trend is going to get further impetus over the forthcoming years as dependability on Indian pharma, agrochemical and specialty chemical industry increases on account of China plus one business strategy being adopted by Western companies. Given the consumables, nature of demand and the oligoplastic nature of the amines industry, there is a strong correlation between revenue growth of Alific amines and that of end user industries. Thus, we are continuously striving to increase as well as diversify our product portfolio to address more segments of our end user markets. Thank you once again, all the stakeholders, investors, analysts to showing the confidence on our company. Thank you once again.
Thank you. On behalf of Emkay Global Financial Services, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.